Hi, this is Joseph Tanya from goodmonday.com. Do not seek for consensus. Let's say you have three persons and these three persons share their ideas. Now, ideas that are controversial and ideas that are creative usually can be quite offensive. But if we are seeking for consensus, sometimes we go for the safest solution because the safest solution tend to get the easiest agreement. Now, when you get the easiest agreement, what happens typically is that you would be opting for the idea that is the lowest common denominator, meaning the solution that you select at the end of the day might be the safest one, but it is not the most creative one. So in the process of seeking consensus, you may have inevitably chosen the lowest common denominator, the solution that everyone agrees with, but you may have missed out on the potential of a great idea because it may be offensive, it may be something that is not acceptable, at least at the first impression, but you have missed out this potential for the sake of agreement. Instead of seeking for consensus, seek for understanding. Learn to appreciate different perspectives. Learn to listen well, because the great idea and the great solution at the end of the day doesn't come from quick agreement. It starts off with a proper understanding of the situation and appreciating even the angle and perspective that is different from yours. Next is to seek to do what is right, not what is convenient. Because if you seek to do what is convenient, well, you may get quick consensus and something that pleases everyone, but the solution will be that of the lowest common denominator. It might not be the right thing to do. It might be easy, but it is not the right thing. Why is it important to seek to do what is right? This is because of the principle of the law of harvest. We reap what we sow. Doing what is right will result in the right consequences in the long term. And if we do what is convenient, but it is not what is right, then we reap the negative consequence. The positive consequences of a great idea or a sustainable solution come from the commitment to seek to do what is right, not what is convenient. Next, seek the step of courage. Usually, the creative solution would require a high level of commitment. Nothing worthwhile comes easy. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. So instead of seeking for consensus, something that is good for everyone, seek for the step of courage. When we decide on what is the right thing to do, when we have a proper understanding of the solution, the final step is usually the step of courage. We must dare to do what is right. We must dare to act on our conviction. And acting on our conviction doesn't necessarily result in agreement, but it does result in integrity. In this world where it is easy to compromise, we need people who can take the step of courage and just not go the easy way of simple agreement by the majority. Well, practically speaking, we may need to vote on the issue and go by way of the majority, but before we cast the vote, did we go through the step of understanding? Before we cast the vote, do we go through the step in understanding to do what is right and not what is convenient? Before we put the matter to the vote, are we exercising courage to carry out our conviction and not go the way of compromise? If we have covered these three areas, then we put the issue to the vote. Then we will not be going down the route of the lowest common denominator. So instead of seeking consensus and aiming for agreement, go the step of argument. Yes, argument. You must learn to have productive argument before you put any issues to the vote. Argue whether if you have the right understanding. Argue whether if this is the right thing to do. Argue whether are we taking the easy way out or the compromise option instead of acting with courage. If you are able to argue and thrash things out, then you will not be going down the route of the lowest common denominator. In fact, you will be going for the more sustainable and more innovative solution going forward. But that can only come not through the step of passive discussion, but through the difficult step of productive argument. Sure, consensus may lead to quick compliance, but it will result in the lowest common denominator. It is better to seek for clarity, even at the risk of argument. Seek instead for the interaction of ideas. Do not be afraid of conflict. Do not be afraid of differences of opinion, because it is in the interaction among this opinion that it gives rise to the solution that you have been looking for all this while. Think about it. This is Joseph Tan here from goodmonday.com. If you're interested to find out more about my leadership development programs and services, check out the website goodmonday.com. I also offer online coaching programs, so you could check that out at goodmonday.com/coaching. I look forward to having a conversation with you then. Thanks for watching.